What's the biggest difference you notice in people's approach to taxes from middle class versus wealthy people?
Speed. Speed. When you're wealthy, you're asking me, Carlton, where do I move the money to? When do we set up the foundation? Where do I send the wire? It happens in hours, not days, not weeks. When I'm dealing with middle class, they're nervous, they're analysis paralysis. They want to do more research than the tax professional did. And it comes down to the fact that they're scared to spend money in order to save money. Wealthy people understand I have to spend money in order to continue to play this game that Uncle Sam wants me to play. And so they're willing to invest money into different vehicles quickly to avoid taxes, whereas the person that's in the middle class is more attached to the money and will take their time to determine if they're going to make an investment to offset their taxes, which could end up leading to them being in a situation where they just end up paying.
How much money have you saved your clients in taxes? If you had to estimate, give me a number, how much money have you saved your clients in taxes?
Well over 100 million.
Do you have a specific scenario or example of a client that you've worked with where they were coming to you stressing?
We had a scenario of a woman who came into the office. This was previous to the pandemic, where we used to meet with people face to face, and she had an IRS audit where she had taken a vehicle on her tax returns. She had already visited 7 other CPA firms. They said that they didn't want to work with her. When she came in, I looked at her tax returns and I saw the notice. They were disallowing a vehicle on her tax returns in the amount of $1 million. I asked her what the vehicle was. She told me it was a yacht. I said, why would we purchase a yacht for business? She said, I am a real estate agent. I speak on TV, $1 million listings, and I like to show my athletes and entertainers what it would look like to purchase a house from the views of the ocean. I log all of the time that I go on and off of the boat. I have a captain that knows every single person that's come on and off the boat, and I've documented everything. By taking her captain's log booklet, some of the photos that she had, as well as the expenses from her P&L, we went into the audit and leveraging code section 162A, which states that a business owner can take a business deduction if the business deduction is ordinary, necessary, and reasonable to the business owner in the pursuit of income, we should be able to take the write-off. We won that audit in less than an hour, and that was her ability to be able to write off a yacht. So when I have clients coming to me stressed out, sometimes it's stress around a $1 million yacht, sometimes it's stress around a $50,000 tax bill, but it's up to me to figure out how to mitigate it.
What are some of those initial steps that people should take to, again, avoid having to pay these crazy burdens? Maybe if they don't have the means to be able to start investing in real estate, are there any other things that people can do to be able to avoid having to pay crazy tax bills to save a lot more of that money?
Yeah, the first thing that you want to do as a self-employed individual that's starting to come into some money is look at your entity structuring. Most self-employed individuals start out as sole proprietorships or single member LLCs, and that's great until you cross about $50,000 to $60,000. Once you're across that point, you need to look at switching to an S corporation to avoid paying self-employment taxes. It's this nasty 15.3% on all of your business's profits. If you just switch to an S corporation, you can give yourself a salary now, and now you only pay that 15.3% on whatever you took out of your business. You completely avoid 15.3% on the rest of your business's profits. So that's step number 1, entity structuring. Step number 2 is let's figure out, did you take advantage of all the things that you spent your money on? Because sometimes business owners spend money on things that they didn't know were write-offs. And so we can allocate expenses that we're taking on the personal card over to business if you forgot or didn't know that something was supposed to be a business write-off. This can include cell phones, laptops, travel that should have been business travel that you thought was personal. We can allocate those expenses over to your business to drop down that total liability.
Wow.